This episode of Says Who is brought to you by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. That's our Patreon, where pretty much every Sunday you get this all over again. You get me and Maureen doing a little thing that we call the Town Watch, which, let's face facts, is basically just a whole nother episode of Says Who. But it's great. There won't be one this Sunday due to traveling things. We'll get into that. But most every Sunday, easily most every Sunday, you get it. And you get that if you give it the $5 a month level. Add another $5 onto that, and you get a sticker in the mail every month because you become a member of the Says Who Sticker Club. It's a great club and has great stickers. And all of that is available to you at patreon.com/sayswho.
You guys, coming this September, You Are the Detective, The Creeping Hand Murder. It's a lot of fun. In fact, I just did another podcast interview this morning where someone...
Oh, did you?
I did, yeah, Dan, I did.
What?
And someone said they were pre-ordering it and they were going to have a party with it. They were going to invite friends over and all try to solve it together.
And one of them will end up dead.
Hopefully. I didn't even think about that when I first made it, that it could be a party, but it totally could be. You'd either have to share the book or each have the book, or, you could share it and then just discuss the case and look at the evidence.
I love it.
But yeah, you could have a solving party, a murder party.
A solving party.
You could all dress up as one of the characters.
But everyone the same one.
Yes.
That's why she said one of the characters.
Yes.
Dress up as the character named Robe Underpants McGee.
Scoochie McClure.
There you go.
Scoochie. Anyway, if you pre-order it from the Mystery Bookshop in New York, A, you're supporting America's oldest mystery bookshop.
Wow.
And B, we will personalize the absolute fuck out of it. We will. So if you're thinking about gifts or whatever, we will sit there. We are prepared to sit there until time stops. And Jay draws, I write stuff. We're prepared to go 100%.
Till the heat death of the sun.
Hundo.
A hundo. Well, definitely pre-order from there, which there is a link here in the show notes of the show that you're listening to right now. Just click on that link. But if you also want to order other stuff or, whatever, you can go to kickbezosintheballs.org. That's our own little bookshop where we sell all sorts of things, including a quick link to said same book. If you're buying things on the internet, you can always go to merch.sayswhopodcast.com where we have Says Who merchandise. You can also go to shop.dansinker.com where I sell some patches and some shirts and some stickers. All things you can buy. Who doesn't like buying things?
Yeah. What are you, anti-capitalist?
Yeah, exactly.
Yuck. Yuck. Yuck.
Yuck. We could just say yuck for the next hour.
I mean, that would be a pretty good summary of current events. Yuck. You know what is a good summary of the right now?
Yes.
It's this little meme. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. This is just everything.
Is that a meme?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's from SpongeBob. Apparently, when he's trying to do comedy and all the fish are just staring, and in the back you hear, "Oh, brother, this guy stinks." It's much funnier when they do it. Trust.
I have not seen a lot of SpongeBob, largely because when SpongeBob was big, the older kid, who's not a kid, I don't know what to call him now.
It's
like an existential crisis. My older son, I guess, is the way to put it.
The man, fruit of my loins man. How about that?
That's gross. No.
Okay, sure.
Anyway.
It's like Fruit of the Loom.
SpongeBob was big when he was 3-4 years old. And for whatever reason, he was very scared of SpongeBob.
It's scary.
And he did not know that his name was SpongeBob. And he called him Soapy because he thought he was a bar of soap.
That's
and
fair.
whenever he would see SpongeBob, he would go, No, Soapy. No, Soapy.
No, Soapy.
And I still, to this day, 17 years later, think, No, Soapy, whenever I see SpongeBob.
No, Soapy.
No Soapy.
Oh,
He was terrified of SpongeBob.
I'm terrified of a lot of
I still don't really know why.
No Soapy.
No Soapy. No Soapy.
Welcome.
Oh, all right. We're here.
Okay. Did that surprise you?
Yes.
To Says Who, the podcast that's not a podcast.
It is, in fact, a coping strategy. I am Dan Sinker.
I'm Maureen Johnson. I'm coping the hell out of things right now. Copity, cope.
Maureen Johnson.
Yeah.
Based on the novelty building figurines balanced on the windowsill behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the dried grapevine heart hanging on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Based on the chirping of birds that keep coming through the microphone.
Yep.
I am surmising
that
you're not at home.
Surmise, baby, surmise.
And I am surmising that perhaps
Mayhaps.
you are at your parents' house.
Sure shit am.
Look at you.
Yep. We're here for a week.
Well, that's going to go well.
It is going to go well. Oscar's going to be with me the whole time.
Okay. Well, that's good.
The dog is having a wonder. Dexy is living her very best life, right? She loves it here. Loves it.
Yeah.
I will say, however, it is a tick paradise.
Mm.
In fact, hold on, let me look at it because we just were walking her.
Okay.
We spray the absolute hell out of her, and still yesterday after a walk, we got 5 ticks off of her.
Perfect.
So we give her a full, body check.
Yeah.
We get in all the, you have to check under the legs, the groin, all the places
Yeah.
But as we were walking her back from this one was just strolling along her back like a dick.
Just on a little walk.
I looked down at a leaf and I just visibly saw a tick just hanging out on a leaf. It's just like that. It's just hanging out waiting for a ride.
What are you all wearing when you're going on these tick walks?
A lot of spray.
Okay.
Like right now, my legs were actually bare, so I could see anything that, and it was sprayed.
Your legs are bare when you're going out walking in places where you can see ticks just hanging out on leaves?
We're not walking in the long grass. There's a dirt path.
Pants.
I don't have any. I wore pants yesterday, but today I'm wearing a little dress.
A hazmat suit.
Well, you can see them. They're actually much easier to see on your skin.
Okay.
But I'm staying on the path. I was fully on a dirt path the whole time.
All right. Okay.
So, yeah. I'm no fool.
Don't they drop down from above?
They do. But we were also not under any trees.
All right.
We were out in the
Just
open.
looking out for you.
I don't like ticks. I'll say it.
Yeah, but that's because they're fucking terrible.
I say it, Dan, and I stand by it. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like ticks.
That's understandable.
Oh, okay. A controversy? You want to, let's teach the controversy. I don't like ticks.
Man, you're really going out. You're really going out, taking some really unpopular opinions here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. And I'll never be a fan.
Wow.
Ticks can go fuck themselves, Dan.
Listen to this.
Yeah, I said it.
It's your new edgy Maureen Johnson.
Yeah, I'm the Joe Rogan of not liking ticks.
Not just going with the popular opinion here.
Right. And
going against the grain.
You can't keep them away with natural stuff. They don't like citronella and things like that.
Man.
Yeah, I said it.
Maureen's dissension into the dark web.
Also, have you heard about raw milk?
No.
Raw meat?
Yeah.
Foot prisons?
No.
Raw honey?
Maureen hasn't sent me these fuckers on Instagram in a while, and it's been great.
I got a new one. That awful white guy that sings reggae about
I know.
Women staying at home, and
I didn't watch that one.
That it just started out as him being terrible to women, and also a white man with dreads singing reggae about. And then
right there alone.
Oh, it's terrible. But then, because he's feminism is a problem and blah, blah, blah. And then Then like you hit 2 videos down and just the hardcore racism comes
Here's
in.
the thing.
Yeah.
Maureen sends me nothing but the worst Instagram videos I've ever seen.
I send you interesting things.
And I respond and I'm like,
What?
nope. Ugh. Horrible.
What have I sent you? What have I sent you? I've sent you Stanley Cup things.
Yeah.
Fridgescaping. The grifters who like raw milk and raw meat and don't wear shoes.
Right. Awful things. But what I'm saying is,
I've sent you a lot about planners and planner stickers.
Just awful things.
Nice things.
This one, you sent me 1, 2, 3 videos of the Dread Dude. And then you wrote, Dan, did you like the videos? And I just responded with a middle finger emoji.
Mm-hmm. I wanted you to know what's going on.
And then I send you nice videos.
Mm-hmm. I look at them. They're nice.
And you never even respond.
I just
enjoy them. A little Muppet that like does singing to jazz records. I was like, I love Maureen's going to love this one.
I did love it.
I sent you a video of a guy at a Philadelphia Phillies game conducting. He was a conductor from like the Philharmonic or whatever. He was conducting the 7-inning stretch, leaning out the little window with his little conducting baton. And as he reaches up, somebody grabs and steals his conductor's baton, and you don't even acknowledge it.
I send you videos back as a thank you.
No, that's not
I sent you nice videos.
No, you don't.
Remember all the planner things I've sent you?
Those are terrible.
Those are beautiful. Works of art. Dan, I just want to get you into planner culture. I want to get you into fridgescaping. I want you to get you a really tricked out Stanley Cup. I want you maybe to consider going on a healing retreat in Mexico with these people that are trying to build community and brand recognition at the same time through drinking raw milk.
I just try to bring joy into your life, and you bring this shit into mine.
Thing. I am trying to give you nice things. And I do give you nice things.
It's not true.
Oh my God. Oh, you're telling me you don't want to watch a fridgescaping video?
Correct.
Well, we're going to have a lot of trouble with fridgescaping because all that shit comes from China. Where now you're sorry. Now you're sorry that you didn't appreciate it while you had it.
I feel like we're jumping too far ahead, but I will say it made me laugh to no end. So in Illinois, the state of Illinois, which is where I reside, fireworks are not legal. And so that means that the northwestern corner of Indiana and the southeastern corner of Wisconsin, just over the border, are filled with fireworks stores. Mm-hmm. And there was an article from Northwest Indiana that 10 fireworks stores have closed down in the last month.
Whoa.
Due to the fact that all fireworks are manufactured in China.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We drove into
Philly.
We drove into New Jersey last night so I can meet with some of my friends.
Okay.
And as soon as you go over, you see all the billboards for the fireworks warehouses.
Yeah.
And I said to Oscar, you see, you don't get this in England. You can't just drive over and go to giant warehouse full of explosives.
It's true.
Listen, here you can get all the guns and explosives you fucking want, man.
Not anymore.
Well, you can still get guns. If they stop being able to get gun parts, these people are all going to lose their minds.
I think the gun manufacturer is 100% U.S., so.
Cool. At least we have one important thing. Great.
Got one good business.
Well, thank God for that.
One good business. Maureen Johnson, next week, we're going to be hanging out in person.
This is going to be our second ever, maybe third ever in person.
Yeah.
I think we did one in Chicago. We did one in
Nashville.
We did Nashville. And we did Disneyland.
We didn't do one in Chicago. You were here, but we did not record.
Oh, okay. So we did it in Nashville.
So we've done Nashville, Disneyland. This will be the third ever time.
And you know where we're going to do it?
Yeah, I do.
Where are we going to do it, Dan?
We're going to do it at the Friends Experience.
Do. So no one told you life was going to be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke, your love's life's DOA. It's like you're always stuck in second gear when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year.
Yeah. You are so much more excited about this than me.
Because you're going to be going to the Friends experience, and the thought of you in the Friends experience is it's so entertaining to me that I am over the moon.
That will be on the regular feed next Wednesday.
Would you rather be at the Friends experience or together on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride?
Definitely Mr. Toad's Wild Ride by a large margin.
Same. So we should go back to Disneyland. That was great.
We should. That
was so good.
It was
maybe every
really
November
good.
we should go. That's our every November. We need some new Patreon levels.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't have the cash for every November.
Hey, listen, you guys.
I could see the argument for every presidential election.
Yeah,
that was I mean the outcome was terrible.
Yep.
Everything from about 8 p.m. Pacific on was not great, but everything before that was easily the best election day I have ever spent.
Disney 2028, my friends.
Yeah, I think that might happen. But yeah, I'm getting on a plane on Saturday, coming to your fair city, staying at my favorite hotel in New York that gives me a overlook on the bus length piles of garbage bags.
We have
to the
bins
Port
now.
Authority.
We have bins now.
I'm curious to see how things have changed. My guess, not that much.
Well, we don't always use them, but we have them.
And yeah, we're gonna record. I'm gonna see some people. Then I'm going to a fancy awards show.
Yes, you are gonna get your award. Did you get a tux?
I got fitted for a tux, Maureen.
Whoa, Dan in a tux is the thing that I am dying to see.
To reduce expectations, I'm sort of half tuxing.
What? What does that mean? Like you're wearing those tuxedo shirts, or you're gonna wear a tux top and sweatpants? Like what are you doing?
Yes, tux top and sweatpants.
Sweet.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
What's a half tux?
We'll see.
What does that mean?
It means that I'm not just wearing a tux. Like I'm not. Like when I walked in, the guy was like, "Okay, well, blah blah blah," and he was like, "You'll get 9 pieces," and I'm like, "I don't need all that." And then I was like, "Here's my idea. I'm in, and don't tell me if it's a bad idea." And so then I laid it out for him, I'm not giving it away. And he was like, "Oh, actually, yeah, that makes sense."
What are the 9 pieces of a tux?
I don't know, because I immediately was like, "No, I'm not doing that." But I think it's a jacket, a pants, a shirt, a cummerbund,
tie,
a tie, cufflinks, socks, shoes, something else.
Well, the socks and shoes, that's part of the tux rental?
I think that at the level that he was trying to sell me on, yes. But anyway, I'm actually looking forward to it.
So it's like bowling where you rent the shoes?
I think you can walk out with a full everything. Okay. And they will charge you a lot.
Sure.
I was very surprised. I was like, I'm renting clothes. Mm-hmm. This costs as much as clothes.
Yeah. Welcome to being a woman.
I had no idea.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah,
but these things are hard to
had
make.
That. The first time I went in, I had such a bad attitude that I was like, I'm leaving because I know myself enough to know that this will go badly. And so then the next day I was in a better mood, and I was like, I'm going to do this again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm also excited to be in New York City. I've not been in New York City in a long time.
So
pre-pandemic for sure.
Welcome back, baby.
But it even was probably a few years before that.
I mean, you'll see a lot more of our outdoor dining spectaculars.
Yeah.
There's a lot more kind of stuff in the street where you can eat amongst the rats.
I like that because that's my preferred eating mode in New York City, is just eating out of carts.
It's good. You'll love
that
it.
was said with so little conviction.
It is good.
You were
You'll
like,
love it.
It's good.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, you're excited.
I wonder
about
how
that.
many people got COVID at the Friends experience. I think the number is pretty high.
Great.
You should have seen that line, Dan, that day. Like when it was deep in COVID and that thing opened, that line was long.
Well, you know,
Those people went in. Those people went in anyway.
they were living their lives.
They were like, listen, there may be a pandemic, but God damn it, I'm going to go sit on that fucking couch.
I'm going to see this completely culturally irrelevant thing.
What? How dare you, sir? We're going to see you're going to see a complete recreation of Central Perk.
Right, but that show was out when? In the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And into the early 2000s, it was like 93 to...
Right, but it's 2025 right now.
I think it was like 93 to 2004 or something like that.
Okay.
You know, but Dan, get with it. Get involved. Get involved.
What?
Yeah, get involved.
In the Friends experience?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll be saying, by the end of it, you'll be saying, we were on a break and all kinds of stuff like that.
Great.
You'll be saying, how you doing? You're going to do that.
Okay.
You're going to say all the catchphrases.
All
You
right.
can get a bag and a tote bag with a catchphrase on it. Are we even putting trash in this thing? Because Chandler was always like, is this even happening?
Okay.
And we'll call the episode the one where Dan goes to the Friends experience. Because
makes sense.
That was their conceit. It was the one where titles.
You've explained that before.
I'm excited.
You are excited.
I am excited.
You just have to get through a week of being at your parents' house.
I don't even know what the fuck happens in the Friends experience, aside from going to Central Perk. I don't know if there's anything else in there.
I would just assume that there's like sets that you can take your picture in front of, right?
I mean, we could be, say, going to the Natural History Museum to the beautiful butterfly area where you can walk through and see beautiful butterflies.
Sounds nicer.
Or you can go to the Friends experience.
Yeah, it sounds less nice.
Mm.
Okay.
Potato.
I mean, I guess.
See Maureen's New York. Maybe the episode is Maureen's New York.
But it's just the Friends experience.
I'll show you other places. I can tell you where to get a good taco.
My favorite thing about Maureen and New York and me visiting you is I believe we have only ever eaten at one restaurant ever, despite having hung out multiple times.
Yep.
But different branches of the same restaurant.
Yeah, it was like a pan quotidian.
Yeah.
Listen, here are the places I can take. I know where they get the best tacos.
Okay.
It's right near my house.
Well, I mean, this sounds so much better than the Friends experience.
And a cafe where you can hang out with puppies.
Sounds great.
And so many things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do it up and we'll record it.
Yeah.
And then
Maureen's
you
New
all
York.
will listen on next Wednesday.
I'll walk you through the city. I'll tell you about stuff.
I love it.
Maybe I should take you to Superiority Burger.
Okay. That place is delicious.
So I think you'd like the vibe.
Out.
You'd like the vibe.
I know I'd like the vibe. I know that. I know that joint's whole deal.
Do.
Whatever.
It's time
anyway,
to
Maureen, before we get into it,
okay.
Little tariff update for you.
Tariff watch.
As aforementioned, rednecks everywhere weeping over the closure of fireworks stands. Really reckon the 4th of July, honestly. Because, of course, all that's manufactured in China. Today, Mattel has announced that it will be raising the price of Barbies because of the tariffs on China. This seems to be a bit of information that Trump has been trying to get in front of.
The dolls?
By, for the last week, continually saying, why does a girl need 37 dolls? She should be fine with 2. I have a lot of questions, Maureen.
Sure.
One
Go ahead.
is 37 is a very specific number.
I never knew anybody with 37 dolls.
Secondly, I was actually thinking about this when we were at fucking Costco on Saturday. And I was like, I just don't think the message of buy less shit is really going to go well.
Listen, if you know one thing about Trump voters, is that they are anti-capitalist, and they really want to reduce, just extraneous purchases.
Yeah. And then yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, Donald Trump announced out of nowhere that he's going to put tariffs on movies made outside the U.S., 100% tariffs.
I have questions. I have a lot of questions.
Please.
One, so all those boatloads of movies coming over, like, how does this work? How does this work?
Yeah.
Explain.
It's a great question.
Okay.
Like, there's the obvious thing, like, Netflix has made quite a bit of money on Korean things like the Squid Game and stuff like that, right? Like, that feels like the most obvious thing. But American movies are largely made not in the United States right now.
Dan, as someone who has been on the movie set of one of their own books, when Let It Snow was filmed, I went to the Netflix studios, which are in Toronto. They have them all over, but like one of their major centers is in Toronto.
Yeah.
And it's a giant studio complex.
Yeah.
That's where it was shot.
Yeah.
So,
none of it makes sense. Not the least of which somehow he's not talking about television, only movies. It now appears that all of this came from the fact that he had dinner with Jon Voight at Mar-a-Lago this weekend.
This fucking guy, Jon Voight. Jon Voight?
Yeah.
Why are we even talking about Jon Voight?
Yeah. So he has dinner with Jon Voight at Mar-a-Lago, and then immediately is like, we're putting tariffs on all movies not made in the United States. Nobody knows what the fuck this means. Like, literally nobody knows what it means, how you would do it. So the tariffs that he's implemented elsewhere, that is applicable to things arriving at port, right? So does that mean that like the latest Marvel movies that are filming in like Croatia and shit are suddenly now being doubled? Like, again, we're ascribing motivation to a madman, right? But the whole motivation of this is we want to bring the American movie industry back to America. Now, I recently went to the movie theater and saw the Minecraft movie. And it was a joy. I had not actually been to the movies since pre-COVID. And it was like, this is the best. And part of what made it the best was it was like, this is like, movie prices haven't really gone up in quite a while. So it was like, this is actually sort of an affordable evening out, and we had a bunch of fun. And it was at the exact same time that Sinners was out, and everyone was, raving about the experience of going to the movies. And I was like, I think movies are back. Right. And I do acknowledge that that's maybe a very me-centered thing where I'm like, I went to the movies and had a great time. I think movies are back. Right.
Movies are back, baby. Dan's here.
But it does feel a little bit like they're back. Well, this will absolutely fucking wreck them if suddenly most movies are going to cost twice as much to make.
I mean, the whole point is, let's think about your popular movies. Star Wars, shot in Tunisia, I believe.
Tatooine was in Tunisia, and
like famously, American movie, but that was shot at a studio in London and in Tunisia. Yeah, and if you say you write a movie that's you've seen in Paris, where the fuck are you going to shoot them? What does it mean to shoot there? Also, like, how do you even? Movies are transmitted files. Like, they don't. You don't have like a whole boatload of celluloid coming in like that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, none of it makes sense at all. It did, however, remind me way back when I was in college. I believe it was Jackie Chan's first United States movie called Rumble in the Bronx came out, and it was so clearly filmed not in the Bronx. And in fact, it turned out it was filmed in Vancouver. And like one of the final scenes, there's like mountains in the background, and someone was, and I remember going to watch it because at the time my friends and I were sort of obsessed with Hong Kong cinema, and one of them was like, I would have been just as happy if this was called Rumble in Vancouver. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not signing up for the Bronx reality. I was signing up for Jackie Chan doing crazy shit.
Well, I hope you enjoy seeing James Bond in Oklahoma because what does it mean? What does it mean?
It is truly it's mystifying. It also seems to be that a lot of this tariff shit is based on a dubious declaration of a national emergency, right? And somebody posted the kind of the wording of this national emergency very explicitly says that movies and television are not part of a national emergency, right? So the whole thing is fucking dubious to begin with. But yeah, it's madness. But let's not dwell on that madness when there's other madness to talk about, Maureen. Last week did mark the 100th shitty day of Donald Trump's second presidency. And to mark it, one of the things that Trump announced was that he would be holding a Soviet-style military parade on June 14th. You might remember back to his original presidency, he very much wanted to have a big Soviet-style, bring the tanks down the middle of the road parade. Mm-hmm. And his various defense people pushed back on that because it's very expensive and you're moving your military equipment to just walk it down the street, etc. But this time around, ain't nobody around. He's saying this is to mark Flag Day, which happens to be June 14th. But Maureen, there's another thing that's happening on June 14th. His birthday.
Oh, his birthday's June 14th?
Yeah. Oh. His birthday is June 14th. So the big boy gets a big parade for his birthday.
That's nice.
It's going to cost somewhere between $45 and $90 million. When asked about that, Trump said that's, quote, peanuts compared to the value. The value of which he explained, quote, we have the greatest missiles in the world. We have the greatest submarines in the world. We have the greatest army tanks in the world. We have the greatest weapons in the world, and we're going to celebrate it.
Yeah, no, that's normal.
I personally am very excited to see them dry dock a submarine, somehow, I don't know, mount it to a flatbed, and then drive it down the street. That seems like an excellent use of time, energy. It's all good.
Are they going to do that?
I would be extremely surprised if they are taking a submarine on a parade.
Then I think it's very unlikely because also submarines are like the size of battleships. They are huge. Like,
they're very, very big. There is, for folks that are visiting Chicago sometime, the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago has a German submarine, the U-505, and it is amazing. For a very long time, it was just sort of sitting outside the museum because it's like a fucking submarine. And then somewhere probably in the last, decade or so, more than that, 15, 20 years, they fundraised and they built a whole building around it now. And it is amazing. Well worth going to see. And you can they do little tours where they walk you through the thing. And that's a World War II submarine, which is much smaller than modern subs.
My father-in-law was a submarine commander.
Oh, wow.
He was a submariner. And so submarines come up a lot in our discussion. I've talked more about submarines this part of my life than I ever thought was possible. But one of the many amazing things he's told me about submarines was, so he would have to go and be gone. He'd be under for 3 months at a time. They would submerge and stay under. And you couldn't contact them. Like, they were just under. And they could be anywhere in the world. And Oscar's mom, this is when they were dating, got sick of this and left his dad because she was like, I'm tired of this submarine nonsense. But he wasn't there to leave. So she just kind of like was like, I've left. And then kind of tapped her fingers for a while and was like, oh, forget it. I want to be with him. And then got back together with him. And he had no idea because there was no one to leave because he was under the ocean. He was completely under the ocean. And so she could, and then she came back and was like, I left you, but I came back. And he's like, okay, like, it's the best breakup story I've ever heard.
I just imagine sort of cartoon style, one of those periscopes going up and looking around, and then there's divorce papers visible in it. He's like,
yeah, and then they got married.
They go down again.
And they would go down again. And they don't really wash under there. It's
wash
their bodies.
Themselves? Oh, yeah.
So when they come up, apparently they smell so bad.
I believe it.
That they have to go, like what they would do is because they would have quarters on land, they would go into, you would have someone else's quarters,
okay.
like who was under, and you would take your clothes off there.
Yeah.
Because you would smell, and then after you wash, you went into your own, because that gave that time for those quarters to air out.
Okay.
Because the smell would linger for days.
That's what I used to do back when I would go to shows when people would smoke inside.
Yeah, you have to air out your stuff.
I'd come back to my house and take all my clothes off before I came into the house.
Yes, you would have to. Oh my God, my jacket took such a beating.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is the big boy's birthday. He gets everything he wants.
He said, how many dolls is he going to get?
Nah, well, only 2.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2. I did think because he has been stuck on this for a while, and it's interesting to now see Mattel announce that they're raising prices, because that clearly that was what they were going for. But at one point, I was really feeling the Arrested Development. It's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10? Because it's like, it's one girl. How many dolls could she have? 37? Like, that's a lot of dolls.
It is. I mean, I'm trying to think how many dolls I had. I had 2 Barbies.
Yeah.
I got over the course of a couple years. I had 2 Barbies. Okay. I had a Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah.
I had a baby doll when I was little. So my first doll was baby doll. Somebody gave me another doll. Like, people give kids dolls a lot. Yeah. Like you get given dolls. So I got given a few dolls over the years, and some of them we play with and some of you can't. Some of them are like ornaments.
Yeah.
It was not 37.
I mean, I think that there is certainly a generous definition of doll, right? Like, if we're counting stuffed animals, my kids have had more than 37 stuffed animals, right? Because it's like, that shit's just given to you constantly.
I had 2 Barbies. I cut off the hair the first one. That's the rite of passage, just to cut your hair off your Barbie.
Or like if you're calling action figures dolls, right? Like, certainly you could be pushing that, but 37 is just a lot. Anyway, June 14th, big military parade, happens to be his birthday. Also, just save the date, the next big protest. So that's
the big one.
Let's all plan to
what day of the week is it?
I'm gonna guess that's a weekend, but let's find out.
Yeah, when's our
June 14th is a Saturday.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Actually, as I scrolled to check, and it came right up. Mass protest. Yeah. No Kings, June 14th.
Yep. So.
Isn't that Bastille Day?
Is it?
I believe it is, isn't it?
Okay.
Or is it the 18th?
I don't know. It's Flag Day.
Hold on. Bastille Day. Yeah. Bastille Day. Oh, July 14th, not June.
There you go. Not the same.
Not the
same.
Those
are different months.
Different months.
Anyway, Maureen.
Because that's when they got all into that's when France got into the Big Chop. That's when they
The Big Chop.
Yeah. That's what they called it. They called it the Big Chop.
The Big Chop. I like it.
Actually, they called it Le Big Chop. Le Grand Chop.
Imagine if things go that direction here. And that HGTV show or the Food Network show Chopped is like, we're taking a real turn here.
I mean,
we're pivoting.
Imagine that in Flavortown.
Yeah. I could.
We keep Guy Fieri safe at all costs now. In this house, we now stand Guy
I don't
Fieri.
think he'd get chopped.
Oh no, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what a good guy he was for a long time, and now I'm like, all right, in this house we respect Guy Fieri.
Yeah. He's a good dude. Anyway, Maureen, to mark that 100 days, Trump also held a cabinet meeting.
Cool.
It was, as you might expect, a giant round of ass kissing.
Sure.
The table was ringed with commemorative red hats.
Nice.
Which noted funny guy Elon Musk put over the hat he was already wearing, which he thought was uproariously funny.
It's funny.
Because as he pointed out, everyone says I wear many hats.
Sure. Let's make this. We're back to the fucking hats, huh?
We're back to the hats, but not for long, because Maureen, the most notable thing about the cabinet meeting happened the next day when someone zoomed in on a photograph of the group and discovered that Mike Waltz, that's the guy that had added the Atlantic editor-in-chief to the group chat, was actively checking signals surreptitiously under the table.
Who among us down, though?
Now, Maureen, I put a nice zoom in on this photograph. It's on the next page of the notes.
Hold on, let me look. What? Hold on. Wait.
She's putting on her glasses.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, he hasn't verified his PIN either.
We'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. So, talk me through what you're seeing here.
I'm looking down. The first one is from Rubio.
Yeah.
Vitkov. Who is that?
Someone.
Height. The next, and then we see Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard. She called. He didn't answer.
Yep.
There was somebody from scheduling. And JD Vance is the last one that says, I have confirmation from my counterpart. It's turned off. He is going to be there.
Yeah.
And then it tells him that he has to verify his PIN.
Right. So did you just mention, it says that he hasn't verified his PIN either?
Yeah, I get that message all the time.
Could you do me a favor, actually, and launch up your Signal?
Sure.
Is your phone easily accessible?
Yeah, I can go get it.
I didn't realize her phone would be so far away.
It's right here. I got it.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Launch up Signal.
Got it.
All right. And could you read the verification notification?
Well, it's not there right now. It says, do I want to turn on notifications?
Okay.
It's
not
no.
there.
Okay.
But you've seen it before.
Yeah, I've seen that message.
It usually says, verify your Signal PIN.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Maureen, if you could read what this one says.
Verify your TM SGNL PIN.
Yeah.
What's that?
Good question, Maureen. Because immediately, my more security-minded friends were like, what the fuck is that? Because that's not what Signal says when it wants you to verify your PIN. And it turns out, Maureen, that's because he's not using Signal. He's using an Israeli-made knockoff of Signal called Telemessage Signal. That's what the TM is.
Oh.
As one security expert told Wired, when asked, quote, I don't even know where to start with this. The security expert continued, mind you, the security expert used to be a hacker for the NSA. Responded, quote, it's mind-blowing that the federal government is using Israeli tech to route extremely sensitive data for archival purposes. You just know that someone is grabbing a copy of that data, even if Telemessage isn't willingly giving it up. they have just become one of the biggest nation state targets out there. Now, the whole purpose of telemessage signal, which I again want to point out, I know a lot of people that work in like computer security, and all of them to a T were like, what the fuck is this TM thing? And then when it was like, oh, it's actually this app called telemessage, they were like, what the fuck is telemessage? Right? This is not a widely used application. Now, the main reason to use it is because its whole deal is that it will send backups of your chat to cloud-based storage.
I'm going to put this down for a second.
So the whole,
Dan, why would that be a problem, Dan?
Yeah. So the whole end-to-end encryption thing that Signal is good at, this little app has so in security, there is something called a man-in-the-middle attack, right? Where somebody is in the center of two encrypted messages or two messages going back and forth. Someone is in the middle of those.
Mm-hmm.
This is a man-in-the-middle attack as an app.
Yeah, like, what if we did this to ourselves?
To ourselves, yes, exactly. So the end-to-end encryption is not a thing because it's also sending those messages somewhere else.
It's like you're saying, I'm going to drive, I'm going to take this secret, I'm going to drive, and I'm going to talk to someone else. Therefore, it is totally secret.
Yeah.
Just on the way, I'm going to stop at the local cafe where everyone talks a lot. I'm just going to tell them the secret and say, keep this on the down low. And then I'm going to continue on until the secret. And no one will ever find out. Yeah.
It's also worth pointing out that telemessage Signal is not an approved app by the U.S. government. Regular Signal is, right?
Well, we're well past this, Dan.
Yes. Now, all of that, I would imagine, sounds not great. But Maureen, it gets worse.
Cool.
Because 404 Media and independent journalist Mika Lee, who I know and definitely trust on this shit, reported that a hacker breached and stole customer data from telemessage.
Sure.
As Mika writes, the hack shows that an app gathering messages of the highest ranking officials in the government. Waltz's chats on the app include recipients that appear to be Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, and J.D. Vance, contain serious vulnerabilities that allowed a hacker to trivially access the archived chats of some people who used the same tool. Now, he continued, the hacker has not obtained, and it's worth pointing out, Maureen, they know this because the hacker sent them screen grabs. Okay. The hacker has not obtained the messages of cabinet members, Waltz, and people he spoke to, but the hack shows that the archived chat logs are not end-to-end encrypted between the modified version of the messaging app and the ultimate archive destination controlled by the telemessage customer. Now, Maureen, you might be saying, oh, well, at least it wasn't government officials that were hacked. Well, data related to Customs and Border Protection are included in the hacked material, according to screenshots of messages and backend systems obtained by 404 Media. Now, you might be saying, well, how do they know that they're Border Protection and Customs people? That's because one of the things that they got screen grabs of was phone numbers, and the 404 Media reporters called the phone numbers to confirm.
Just going to look out at the greenery.
Yesterday, Telemessage announced that it was suspending its service. Which seems like maybe the only appropriate response from anyone involved in this whole thing.
Dan, I here's the thing, is that since this also, in fact, since 2016, I have long assumed that we're just a leaky bag. It's like liquid in a paper bag in terms of security and information.
Yes.
That's done. Okay, that's not, like, we don't have secrets now.
No.
That's not a thing.
No.
But just occasionally get those little reminders, that little poke where you're like, we just don't have that. Like, they don't have that. That's not a thing anymore.
No.
Remember when Mar-a-Lago people would just leave drives around and stick them in computers?
Yeah. earlier this year, I did a lot of reading about World War II and some of the disinformation work that the Allies did. And a lot of that focused around the fact that the Germans were using what they thought was truly for a time an unhackable communication system, a code system called the Enigma machine, right? And the Allies finally did figure out how to break Enigma messages. And so then they had to do a lot of shit to make sure that the Germans didn't know that they had done that.
Yeah.
So they had to, like, when they would have a message, it was like, oh, well, there's going to be Germans, at this place at this time. They would send a group of folks to be there to accidentally see it right beforehand, because they knew, well, if we just pounce on them without them being able to say, oh, we were spotted, right, or whatever, they'll figure out that we've broken this message. These folks aren't even going to those ends at this point. Like, and yet I think that they're still operating like everything they're saying is not being seen by someone.
This is some Clouseau level shit.
Yes.
Like, this is
very much so.
This is comedy level with the Pink Panther song playing in the background.
Well, and you might say, Maureen, well, this guy, so let's figure this out. This guy added the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic to a group chat where they were discussing war plans.
Friendly.
Is caught on camera. I think generally just checking your phone during a cabinet meeting is probably not a great thing to be caught on camera for.
You're going to be a dick about this? Fine.
But then very specifically checking your phone using some weird knockoff signal, like using Temu signal and showing the whole world that. Then having that Temu signal almost immediately hacked. You might say that sounds bad.
Yeah.
Perhaps there should be some consequences for this.
Okay.
Well, Maureen.
Okay.
I'm glad to tell you that there was.
Oh.
Because last week, Donald Trump announced that Mike Waltz was leaving his position as National Security Advisor.
Okay. So we're going to get somebody in there that knows what they're doing.
Well.
Okay.
Sure. We definitely got someone in there that knows what they're doing at a lot of things, because it was announced that Marco Rubio would take over that position. That is now Marco Rubio's fourth job in the government. He's the Secretary of State. He is now the National Security Advisor. There's not been a joint Secretary of State National Security Advisor since Kissinger. He is also the head of USAID. And he's the head of the National Archives for some reason.
This is like a fucking sitcom.
Yes.
How many jobs does Mario have? What's he doing today?
So, anyway, good news, consequences for Mike Waltz. Except not so fast. Because later in the day, Donald Trump announced that he was putting Waltz up to be the ambassador to the United Nations.
Sure. They're going to want to definitely talk to him about a lot of classified stuff. They're going to be like, let's make sure to tell that guy everything. He's like, he's a locked fucking box. Do not worry about him. He knows what's up.
Yeah. So things are going good. Things are going great. 100 days in. We're just killing it. We're killing the game here.
We're definitely killing it.
Yeah, we're definitely killing it.
And by it, we mean the country and the people.
Yeah, and people around the world too.
And people's spirits and, Yeah,
it's all dead now. Anyway, things are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a Trump voter on the other side of that wall.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
We've reached an agreement that while we're here, there will be no Fox News on.
Okay. How's that going?
Actually, he's respecting that.
Is he watching Newsmax instead?
He's just watching like weird, his shows.
His stories.
His stories, like his, in game shows and stuff.
Okay.
It's the best we can do.
God, speaking of stories, Maureen, we started watching The Studio,
Oh, yeah?
which is Seth Rogen takes over a Hollywood movie studio. He becomes the new studio exec. It is amazing. It is so funny. It is so uncomfortable. There's so much in the show where you're just like, oh my God, but it is well worth watching. It's
All
also
right.
a really nice little love letter to movies as well.
Well, we're going to be making everything in America.
They did make this in America. This is shot in.
We can legally watch it.
Yeah, we can for this. I'm actually illegally watching it now that you say it like that. But
do we have to, every time we watch something foreign, do we have to put $2 in a box and mail it somewhere to Pueblo,
Yes.
Colorado? That's a little joke for people that there used to be commercials and you could get like pamphlets from the government if you sent something to Pueblo, Colorado.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on in Pueblo, but
around.
just stuff to Pueblo. What was going on in Pueblo, Colorado, Dan? Like, what was it?
I mean, it was probably just that's a relatively centrally located place with not a lot of work. So you could set up a mail processing center there.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. Anyway, I would highly recommend watch The Studio. It's great.
Dan, my agent was here, my friend Kate, and the day that she left, she was on her way to Newark to catch the flight home, and she got on the plane, and I immediately sent her all the headlines of people going, whatever you do not go in and out of Newark. It is not safe.
Oh, yeah, Newark is a problem.
Yeah. Where the apparently everything blacked out for 90 seconds.
Yeah,
And the controllers were so freaked out that some of them have to have trauma counseling.
Oh, God. Perfect.
Yeah, it was that terrifying.
I'm flying into LaGuardia, and I'm a little bit sad about that.
Why?
Because I used to love flying into LaGuardia so that I could visit my favorite thing in any airport ever, which was the tarp with a hose coming out of the bottom of it that then emptied into a plastic wheelie garbage can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just in the middle of the hallway in LaGuardia.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's all fancy.
It's so fancy.
I know. They've removed it. I wish they had at least kept that somewhere. It was great. I took a photo of it every time I walked by it. So I have dozens of photographs of it.
Dan, this is true. I once waited for a flight in LaGuardia in a seat next to a bucket of dry ice with a coat around it. That is an actual thing that happened.
There was like a liver in there.
That was like, it was a bucket of dry ice.
Yeah.
With a coat around it, it was waiting. And we went to security. A couple of us were like, there's a bucket of dry ice with a coat around it. And nobody cared.
Yeah. The coat belonged to the person whose organs had been harvested and were being held in that bucket of dry ice.
I was like, that's not okay. But no, it's all fancy now. You can get really good food. And
yeah, I know. I'm kind of bummed about that. I loved the real late night bus stop vibes that existed at LaGuardia.
It was real sketchy.
Yeah, I'll miss it. I really will. I'll be like, oh.
You felt like you were going to get on a plane with some guy with like a twitchy guy with a weird mustache.
Yeah.
You want to take a flight? You want to take some planes? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Well, Says Who is made possible by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. That's where you can get this all over again most every Sunday. Again, not this Sunday, but most every Sunday. If you give it the $5 a month level, throw another $5 on top of that, and you get a sticker in the mail that I make for you and send to you because you become a member of the Says Who Sticker Club. All of that is for you at patreon.com/sayswho.
I have an idea.
Is holding her
I'm dangling it. Yeah,
microphone in a very weird way that makes me think that you're raising your hand every time.
What if we gave Patreon a little video of you in the Friends experience?
Yeah, we can do that.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll get that done.
All right.
All of that's available for you at patreon.com/sayswho. Our theme music is performed by Ted Leo. Ted is out on the road with the Gang of Four right now. Go check him out. What an amazing thing. He posted a video of their tour bus and his bunk in the tour bus, which I wrote back to him and I said, "You're living that coffin life." Because He's on the bottom bunk, like the floor level bunk. It had to have been maybe a foot of clearance total.
How many bunks up?
It looked like it was 6 on either, or so it was 3 on either side. 6
okay, I was
total.
gonna say 6.
Yeah. But yeah, it was that was some tight life. But anyway, go see Ted. Our logo was designed by Darth. You can contact us at SaysWhovPodcast.com on Blue Sky or at SaysWho at OMFG.town on Mastodon. You can always email at hey, that's HEY at SaysWhoPodcast.com. You can join the discussion on Facebook at /group/SaysWhovians. Our Facebook group is moderated by Janice Dillard. You can always join the fan-run Discord server at tinyurl.com/SaysWhoDiscord. Whatever you do, though, spread the word, subscribe, leave stars and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever it is that you listen. And you can join us next Wednesday for our special from the Friends Experience.
And Maureen's in New York.
That's May 14th. We will see you there. From my basement in Chicago, I am Dan Sinker.
And from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I'm Maureen Johnson.
And this has been the Says Who podcast.
No soapy.
No soapy.
No soapy.
No soapy. No soapy.